good.
Good afternoon and welcome to From Where We Are, stories of news and culture through the lens of USC and Southern California. I'm Drew Richmond, coming to you live from Studio B in USC's Annenberg Media Center.
And I'm Jeanette Fu. It's Tuesday, April 29th. On today's show, we follow a workers' strike happening this week in downtown LA, and we unpack basketball ratings as the Los Angeles Lakers face elimination. All that and more from Where We Are. But first, today's headlines.
A massive power outage sent Spain and Portugal into darkness on Monday, disrupting transportation, communications, and essential services for approximately 60 million people. The blackout, one of Europe's most severe in recent history, affected major cities including Madrid and Lisbon. While power has since been restored, the exact cause remains under investigation, with officials ruling out cyber attacks and extreme weather events. Authorities are conducting comprehensive investigations to prevent further occurrences of such widespread outages.
Today marks the first 100 days of President Donald Trump in office. According to NPR, PBS, and the Marist poll, 45% of Americans give President Trump an F for his first 100 days, compared to 23% who gave him an A. These are the lowest ratings of any newly elected president in decades. The failing grade is mainly driven by policies affecting the economy and tariffs. However, a slim majority also disapproves of how he has handled immigration. Trump's first 100 days have entailed signing 142 executive orders, signing 5 bills into laws, and pardoning 39 individuals, along with hundreds of January 6th insurrectionists. His policies have also led to tens of thousands of federal workers being laid off. What does Trump think of his approval ratings? Well, he has referred to these pollsters as criminals.
Residents of the Pacific Palisades area may notice smoke and flames this week as the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives conduct a controlled burn along the Temescal Ridge Trail. This operation is scheduled from Tuesday, April 29th through Thursday, May 1st. The operation aims to investigate the cause of the devastating January wildfire there. The controlled burn is part of an effort to determine the fire's exact point of origin and how it spread so rapidly. At the corner of 14th and Main in downtown Los Angeles, a cherished mural titled Mambas Forever depicted the late Kobe Bryant and his daughter Gianna in a heartfelt embrace, symbolizing their enduring bond. In the early hours of Tuesday morning, the artwork was found defaced with black and white graffiti. In response to the vandalism, Lakers' newly acquired star Luka Doncic donated $5,000 to fully fund the mural's restoration.
Astrophysicist James Bullock will make the jump to USC from UC Irvine to officially become the Dean of Dornsife. Bullock has been serving as the Dean of the School of the Physical Sciences at UCI. His move from Anteater to Trojan becomes official July 1st, when he assumes the role of the 23rd Dornsife Dean. While Bullock is well-versed in the sciences, he is also eager to champion the liberal arts, according to a USC press release. Bullock says a liberal arts education is a vehicle to a deeper and richer life. Bullock wants to help USC Dornsife become the global exemplar of what a liberal arts education is.
Thousands of union members in purple, yellow, and white shirts marched through downtown Los Angeles, waving signs today. They chanted for higher salaries and a new contract from LA County. Streets were blocked off. The action began last night when some 55,000 county workers went on strike. Caitlin Rimholt has the story.
Have you had enough The union workers' signs said SEIU Local 721, protecting the integrity of public sector jobs, and We Are the Safety Net. Before marching, they gathered at the Hall of Administration in downtown LA's Civic Center, where their leaders took to a small stage to rally the union members.
Our members provide the safety net services for LA County.
Raymond Meza is the Deputy Chief of Staff for SEIU 721.
If you are having a medical emergency, you may wind up in an LA County hospital. If you need to go get on social services, whether that's CalWorks, CalFresh, you're going to a social services office where our eligibility worker is making sure that you can get access to those services.
Today's march continues a 2-day strike that began last night after an unsuccessful attempt with the county to negotiate a new contract. The strikers are calling for a new contract with higher salaries, but the county is under tremendous pressure due to a massive budget deficit and huge costs from the recent wildfires. LA County said it cannot afford the proposed salary increases.
When we fight, are we going to fight? Are we going to fight together?
The ongoing strike has suspended service at some healthcare clinics. Many libraries were closed. Efforts to clean up wildfire debris could also come to a pause. The union workers remain devoted to the fight. Kelly Zhao is a nurse at Los Angeles General Medical Center. She was among the thousands of nurses who didn't go to work today. Instead, she took to the streets.
In our healthcare settings in my hospital, our healthcare providers and workers been very short of staffed. We've been stretched very thin. But we improvise, we get the job done, we take good care of our patients and keep our community healthy.
Despite the serious nature of what these workers are marching for, there was still a healthy dose of smiles and dancing as music played and bells rang through the streets of downtown LA. The strike is set to continue until 7 p.m. Wednesday. For Annenberg Media, I'm Caitlin Remholt.
In the past 30 years, basketball has seen a tremendous rise in popularity across the globe, becoming the third most played team sport globally behind soccer and cricket. As the Los Angeles Lakers face elimination against an Anthony Edwards-led Minnesota Timberwolves team tomorrow, we want to know why it is that the sport's biggest and best league, the NBA, has seen its ratings plummet in recent years. The answer is as layered and as complex as the beautiful game itself. DJ Herrera has the story.
Joaquin Torres is a Clippers fan, a die-hard Clippers fan.
Hey! Give him 49. And one!
He first fell in love with the team as a kid when he watched the Lob City Clippers with his dad. Now, as a fan for over a decade, his thoughts on today's NBA echoes the opinions of many others.
Last year, I was trying to watch a Clipper game. I'm like trying to watch it on cable, and it's like blacked out. I live a mile away from Staples Center. Dog. Are we serious?
Worse, Torres pays extra to watch. He has NBA TV.
Which makes no sense. Why am I paying for NBA TV if I cannot watch all 82 games of every NBA team?
It's a very detailed, meticulous process in terms of acquiring rights.
That's Eric Johnson, a professor for sports business and media at UCLA and former ESPN executive of over 2 decades.
Often you're acquiring specific games with territory coverage as a part of it.
And viewer access isn't the only issue. This time of year can be particularly difficult for the NBA as it competes with America's most popular sport, football.
Mahomes steps up, throws, and he got it! Touchdown, Kelsey!
The NFL is drawing all those eyeballs, and that has an impact on the beginning of the season for the NBA. But you also have college football in that same window. Think about all that displacement of fandom who's watching those two things as opposed to watching the NBA.
To create more drama and interest during this time of year, the NBA has implemented an in-season tournament called the NBA Cup.
The NBA Cup. Woo-hoo. Time to raise those stakes.
But it has struggled to take off in its first 2 years of existence with fans like Joaquin Torres, who's most invested in his team.
It's just not appealing. Why would I watch the Atlanta Hawks play in the in-season tournament? It holds no value.
The Los Angeles Lakers win the first NBA Cup. They are
Then there's the celebrity factor. Last year's NBA Cup final featuring LeBron James had 1 million more viewers than this year's. But Johnson thinks this is where the NBA has an advantage.
I look at the social growth that all the players have, and I think that speaks to the health of how many people care about the NBA. And you benefit by not having a helmet. You benefit by having 5 players on a court. You benefit by it's an intimate arena, and take advantage of that.
have a timeout. Decide not to use it. Curry, way downtown. Bang! Bang! Oh, what a shot from Curry!
One of the league's biggest stars is Warriors point guard Stephen Curry, whose incredible ability to shoot three-pointers has changed the way basketball is played.
There was a era called the Steph Curry era where they're beating teams living and dying by the three. 2016, they won 72 games living by the three.
That's basketball expert Mekhi Singleton, who has played alongside some of the NBA's top young talent, such as Talen Horton-Tucker and Max Christie. Many believe today's players shoot too many threes, but Singleton argues this is the evolution of basketball.
I don't think three-pointers have changed the game for the worse. The game changes. The audience needs to change their view of the game, how the game is played.
Despite this change, young fans still find the game of basketball just as exciting as before. And as Joaquin Torres sees it, traditional ratings are not always indicative of overall interest.
I think there's going to be something that's going to spark interest. And it always has been. Like Bird and Magic Johnson. And then boom, all of a sudden, people start watching.
While the present and future of the sport seems uncertain to older, diehard fans, the next generation of players will dive in headfirst like the ones before them and move basketball forward. For Annenberg Radio, I'm DJ Herrera.
I'm Jeanette Fu. We're glad you're with us for From Where We Are.
And I'm Drew Richmond. It's 26 minutes past the hour. Coming up, we explore a new bill tackling deepfakes and recap the latest in the Amazon White House tariff debacle. Melania Trump isn't on the news too often, but she seems to be pretty outspoken on a recent Congress bill, the Take It Down Act. What will this bill do and why is it important? David Rendon has the story.
On this vote, the yeas are 409, the nays are 2. The bill is passed, and without objection, the motion to reconsider is laid on the table.
This week, Congress passed what's known as the Take It Down Act. This bill would make it illegal to post real and fake sexually explicit imagery online of a person without their consent. The full title of the bill is rather long. It is the Tools to Address Known Exploitation by Immobilizing Technological Deepfakes on Websites and Networks bill. The bill would require social media and other websites to take down the content within 48 hours of the victim's request. It aims to reduce the amount of non-consensual intimate imagery or revenge porn. With the rise in capabilities of AI, there's been an increase in AI porn. Deepfakes are a phenomena where AI can take a few images of someone's face and impose that on a different pornographic video, essentially putting someone's face on someone else's body. Kalapala Winter, a junior majoring in acting for stage and screen, is glad the bill exists because it's important to keep people safe.
A lot of the revenge porn and deepfakes that exist is so disgusting and inhumane and like cruel, and to see yourself in that or someone you care about in that, it's just so jarring and terrible.
The chief clinical officer of the Collective Treatment Programs in Newport Beach and a former USC faculty member at the School of Social Work, Kristen Zaleski, says that she is happy that this bill has been passed. She says revenge porn can be
lifelong deal. Unlike face-to-face sexual trauma, where there's an ending, online sexual trauma, there is no ending. It's there, it's in perpetuity, and you have no control over it.
The potential dangers of AI are endless because people can make it of anyone, even children. Kalapala Winter says that one of her friends experienced revenge porn.
It's so jarring to see so many people outwardly sexualizing you and there was nothing that could be done about it for so long.
But the results of what can happen to victims can be quick and damaging, says therapist Kristen Zaleski.
I've had clients who have lost their job. A client I talk about in these press interviews is someone who was an elementary school teacher, and her ex-boyfriend did that. He put her image on a pornographic movie and sent it around, tagged her on Facebook, and sent it to her boss at the elementary school. And she had to leave her hometown and her life because of this.
The bill against revenge porn just passed Congress with bipartisan and nearly unanimous support. It earlier passed unanimously in the Senate. First Lady Melania Trump was a major proponent of the bill. It now goes to President Trump's desk, and he is expected to sign. Zaleski says she hopes that the law will raise awareness on the issue.
But I'm hoping that the press will really help create education for parents and law enforcement personnel to understand the pervasiveness of this problem and have immediate action.
Victims deserve justice, says occupational therapy senior Kyra Aligan.
People are just so susceptible to what they see online and like are just easily swayed. Like if it's on the internet, they believe that it's true. So I think it's a really helpful bill.
Many questions remain about how the law will be implemented. Social media companies Meta, TikTok, and Snapchat have all supported the bill. Zaleski is happy progress is being made because if social media platforms could
take it down in 48 hours, that's way better than, 48 months, right? Which has been some stories. So I'm curious and a optimistic but cautious watcher as we see this bill get implemented and see how it takes effect.
While 48 hours is a start, it's unfortunately still plenty of time for people to repost and save, which should have never existed. For Annenberg Media, I'm David Rendon.
Amazon will not be displaying added tariff costs next to product prices on its website. The company denied a report which detailed its alleged plan after the White House responded to that report angrily. John Millsap has the story.
Punchbowl News, a Washington, D.C. daily, reported this morning that Amazon was planning to display added tariff costs next to its online products. This quickly drew the ire of the Trump administration. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt called the alleged plan, quote, hostile and political.
I will not speak to the president's relationships with Jeff Bezos, but I will tell you that this is certainly a hostile and political action by Amazon.
Amazon founder Jeff Bezos has, at least publicly, taken a Trump-friendly approach since the president's inauguration. Apparently, whatever happened today was soon settled. During a press briefing Tuesday afternoon, Trump told reporters that Bezos, quote, solved the problem very quickly.
Jeff Bezos was very nice. He was terrific. He solved the problem very quickly. And he did the right thing, and he's a good guy. He's a good guy. I've gotten to know him over the last couple of years, and he's done a fantastic job. So I appreciated what he did.
Amazon confirmed that consumers will not be learning how much of what they're paying is going toward Trump tariffs. The company admitted that it considered the idea for its low-cost store and Temu competitor, Amazon Hall. However, an Amazon spokesperson told CNN that, quote, this was never approved and not going to happen. For Annenberg Media, I'm John Millsap.
Union del Barrio is a group of volunteer advocates who alert the undocumented community when ICE agents are patrolling the area. Annenberg Media reporter Jean Marco Velasquez joined the group one morning before the sun came up to see how they patrol the city of Los Angeles. Producer Isaac Vargas spoke with our reporter about what he learned covering immigration issues all semester in the age of Trump. But first, Vargas asked Jean Marco Velasquez what he saw on the early morning ride-along.
There were moments when they'd be like, okay, hold on, like, is that a Dodge Charger? Let's see. Does it have plates? Why is it tinted? And then they kind of like realize, okay, it might be just a car because it has plates and there's like a little decoration on it that ICE would never have or DHS agents would never have. So those observations, they have the constant eye for a suspicious looking car, a car that may indicate law enforcement federal agents, right?
You're almost seeing how in tune their eyes and ears are for this stuff. Like they know what to look out for on these ride-alongs.
100%. We'd be walking, talking, interviewing them, and they'd be like, hold on, give me 1 sec. And then they'd stop and kind of monitor. So they're always very, very vigilant. And I think the most striking thing for me is the fact that these people are volunteers. I mean, these people wake up long before they should be awake. One of the leaders, Ron, he's a teacher. And he wakes up super early before, and afterwards he goes to teach. So it's not the easiest thing to wake up super early, period, and to do something like this that requires focus and energy and drive is just really, really amazing.
Yeah, where do you guys go? What does that look like?
They kind of know which areas may be targeted by ICE due to population, historic efforts that have been made in the area, and also sometimes just logically, they choose paths that may be more frequented for obvious reasons. They're more accessible, whatnot. And really the main purpose is that they know that ICE does a lot of their operations in the morning, and their philosophy is like, we know that a lot of the working class, undocumented Latinos go to work really early and they're up at these hours.
we chat a lot in the newsroom, and I've really been able to gauge you as a reporter and just sort of how passionate you are to get these stories and to cover the communities that you do. Where does that come from?
For a subject matter like immigration, right, that's so legal and so complex, there is a necessity for people to cover it. And then also, my parents are immigrants, so this is a conversation that is close to me, I understand, I've grown up with it. So once more, there is kind of like my personal interest, experience, and lived experience, but also the desire to pursue a career that really demands this sort of coverage. And I think that ultimately, being at USC, being in Los Angeles, right, a community that's so, largely made up of, comprised of undocumented immigrants, of Latinos, I think it's just, for me, it's almost my duty to do this, right? And as somebody who wants to cover it, I think it's perfect. And USC has given me the springboard. Leslie Bersin Rojas has been an amazing mentor in my process. She has decades of experience.
When people ask me why I got into news, I tell them,
and I think that ultimately
sitting down watching news and broadcasts with my dad,
USC and through USC.
I think he learned English better by just watching this stuff on a regular basis, and he was just able to build up his own internal knowledge of the country, of the world, of the English language, and then him and I would just kind of bounce back and forth and say well, what do you think, or what are your thoughts about this current event or this new administration? I'm curious for you, what were some early news consumption days for you? What do you remember consuming as a kid, or in an immigrant household, or with immigrant parents? What are some of those early moments that you remember thinking okay, I want to do what they're doing?
No, that's great question. I think that for me, and the story that I kind of always think about is when I was younger, kind of on the same note to you, my parents were obviously immigrants and they came to this country and they had a lack of understanding of what the culture was like and what life was like in this country. And I think that, I grew up in San Francisco, California, in a predominantly Latino neighborhood. And I think that just there, seeing the amount of value that local news offered, whether that be print, whether that be TV, like Telemundo and Spanish media outlets, which I also would like to work in and contribute to in bilingual journalism, they really enriched our lives because they gave us access to resources, to networks, to workshops that helped us increase, even language, like you said, but also financial literacy, access to education. And these media outlets that were catered to people like my parents and to people like us really showed the value that journalism holds as a community service. So moving forward, as I grew older and I kind of developed a love for writing and a love for storytelling, it was almost natural for me to kind of go back and say, I am a product of news. I am a product of journalism. I'm a product of Spanish language journalism. And because of that, I think that I would like to pursue this because I want to do the same for others.
Talk to me about how your reporting has changed from the beginning of the semester to right now. We're currently at the 100-day mark of Trump's second term, and a lot has happened, and no one, I think, could have predicted a lot of the things that have come out, specifically when we talk about immigration in this country.
I've noticed that I went from, more know your rights, explainer, service pieces that in the beginning are very helpful for people who may not know what to do, and kind of started tackling more.
Where's the journalism morale?
I moved on to tackling and kind of simplifying and demystifying some of these misconceptions or a lot of the more complex things, like with the ITIN number collaboration. And more than ever, I think we have a necessity to break down a lot of these tough things. Yeah, I'd say, I'm tired. Definitely a lot of work, a lot of, hard semester, rigorous semester. But coming out of it, I think it's only enriched me. And I'm so happy that I managed to do these things now, because I think that the earlier you learn how to tackle these subjects, the better it'll be in the long run.
That was Jean Marco Velasquez with our producer, Isaac Vargas. And that's all we have time for on today's From Where We Are. Amy Lopez and Isaac Vargas produced today's show. Isaac, we wish you good luck at Roysters, summer position. We also had help from Anna Friesian and Alyssa Picatello.
Our board operator is Jaden Frank. Our live stream manager is Sela Falcons, and Derek Renfro composed our theme music.
Catch us live on YouTube at Annenberg Radio News, Monday through Thursday at 5 p.m. Subscribe too from where we are, wherever you're listening right now. Finally, don't forget to add us on Instagram at Annenberg Radio. I'm Drew Richmond.
And I'm Jeanette Fu. From all of us at Annenberg Radio, wherever you are, we hope you'll join us again for From Where We Are. All right, Drew. So, any summer plans that you're looking forward to?
Summer plans. Yeah, I'm ready to go back to Memphis, kind of go back to the South, have a good time with some friends. I got some old teammates of mine having some football camps. So this will be a time where I'll be out in the community doing a lot of community work, working with the youngsters in sports. What about you?
I'm just looking forward to a very chill summer. I'm going to finish my finals and just like hang out with my parents and have fun with my friends back home. But yeah, we just also wanted to thank all our listeners and the producers. Who else do you want to shout out?
Coach E, thank you for it. The year has been so good. Miss Leslie, we'll never forget that pumpkin pie. It's been a good one. To all the producers, Isaac, Sebastian, Jay, and everybody back there, we appreciate the year.
All right.
Jay Fool, I'm going to miss you, man. It's been a good year. Good nicknames. I had so much fun with you.
Oh, yeah, Drewski. I'll miss you too.
All right. To the viewers out there, we'll see you next year.